Wow! I was amazed at how deep this episode was. It's a lot more deeper than your usual anime episode. I'm so grateful that Schwarzes Marken fixed so many of the problems that Total Eclipse had. This episode had characters with real emotion on the screen, and it's a kind of horror story. It's developing into this kind of horror story involving war and monsters, and now it's also giving us a fair share of political stuff. So in episode 2 of Schwarzes Marken, the main girl gets a visit from who seem to be the villains, maybe not of this whole series, but definitely the villains of this first arc, and they seem to want to take in the main girl for quote-unquote questioning, but we all know what they really want to do to her. The commander refuses, like the good commander that she is, as main girl hasn't really done anything wrong, there's no evidence against her or anything like that, also it's assumed, but then main girl starts wanting both sides of Germany to unite against the beta monsters together, and she gets beaten up by the silver-haired girl. Then the villains leave. It's a strange confrontation because I didn't quite know where the whole confrontation would lead. I mean, I do have faith in the characters in that they all have their own unique ways of seeing situations and dealing with them, but I still didn't know them quite well enough to foresee what would happen. For example, the commander is quite a cold character, so I wasn't really expecting her to protect main girl in the way that she did, and I wasn't too sure about what kind of character the silver-haired girl was, but judging by the way she just beat up main girl, I'd say the silver-haired girl may or may not be the arsehole character of this arc. I keep saying arc because even though the main characters didn't die in Total Eclipse, there is potential that characters in the main will die for this series. I mean, one of the characters wants main girl to call her sister, so maybe that's a clue as to what's going to happen to the sister character. So anyway, Theodore finds out that main girl is trying to find her father, but records of her father have been erased. That's not a cliche at all, but then everybody gets called into battle. Lots of carnage later, main girl and her sister get separated from the rest of the team, and now they're both apparently in hell. Did I ever mention before that I've always wanted to see Total Eclipse become a mecha horror? I mean, Total Eclipse was a mecha horror for the first 2 episodes, but then all that unfortunately went out the window. Thankfully, it looks like Schwarzes Marken is fixing all that and making sure that not just the first 2 episodes are horror mecha, but hopefully the rest of the series will be horror mecha. So yeah, I was very impressed with how engrossing this episode was. Right when the main girl got beaten up, I knew that this anime is trying to distance itself, actively distance itself from bloody Total Eclipse in the best possible way. It's trying to combine war horror with mecha, and so far it's working surprisingly well. I am starting to see 2 problems with this anime though. First of all, who the fuck are we supposed to be rooting for here? Hardly any of the characters are likeable, so I guess we're supposed to focus on main girl, who's literally the only character who is remotely nice. Secondly, the animation is weak when it comes to the faces of the characters. Those faces look quite flat in and around the eyes, which is kind of distracting at times, but on the plus side, this anime is not afraid to show the bloody carnage of the beta war at all, and it's not afraid to go all out when it comes to emotion. So yeah, let's just see if the sister character will survive hell, and if any of the characters besides main girl will become actually likeable.